Some of you may be wondering why we're talking about self-image, sometimes called self-esteem, in a sales training program. Logically, some of you probably think that if you could just sell more, you would feel better about yourself, and all the recognition you would receive by being the top producer would increase your feeling of self-worth and increase your self-esteem. While that perception may be logical, it's backward. Perhaps the easiest way to see the power of self-image is to look at the top college football teams in the nation. They tend to be the same top 20 teams year after year. Each year they start out believing that they are good enough to be number one. We win because that's what we do. It's who we are, is the attitude that results from their sense of pride and self-esteem. Everywhere they go on campus, there are images and artifacts of past championships and winning teams. The coach's most important job is to maintain the team's high expectations driven by their high self-image. They must see themselves as winners in order to be winners, not the other way around. They see themselves as winners before they play their first game, and every win is something they expect and feel that they deserve. The reason you build your self-esteem is because as you elevate your self-image, your performance goes up as well. The stronger your sense of self-worth, the more you will draw people and business opportunities to you. Change the inside, and the outside will change to match your self-image. You will get most of what you feel worthy of having, and accomplish most of what you feel worthy of accomplishing. The healthier your self-image, the more energy you have to pursue your goals. The most important thing to know is that we move toward what we think about, or toward the image we have in our minds. Many people remember that when they first learned to ride a bike, they saw something in the road that they wanted to avoid hitting. The more that they looked at it, the more they were unable to avoid hitting it. Now, we just look past the obstacle and focus our attention on where we want to go, easily avoiding obstacles. Our mental images come from the words we use when talking to ourselves and from the opinions of those we respect and the emotions we wrap around those words. Negative statements from others can erode our sense of self-worth. Researchers estimate that it's necessary for the ratio of positive to negative comments to be at least 5-to-1 for a relationship to be healthy and survive long term. So keep that ratio in mind as you talk to yourself, because often the person eroding our sense of self-worth and limiting our potential is us. That's right. Our self-talk, or the words our inner dialogue uses when we think, can increase our stress levels, limit our potential, and lower our expectations. They can also do the opposite. Our self-talk can be used to change our mind and turn self-sabotage into self-mastery. Of all the judgments we make in life, none are more important than the ones we make about ourselves. These self-evaluations directly affect the way we act and react with others, the values we choose, the goals we set, and how we meet the challenges that confront us. The key to meeting these basic challenges and feeling worthy of happiness is having high self-esteem and a healthy self-image. These are the two components of our self-image. The first is self-efficacy. This is our ability to think, to learn, to choose, and to make appropriate decisions. The next is self-respect. This is our confidence in our right to be happy and confidence that achievement, success, friendship, love, and fulfillment are appropriate to us. Here are some characteristics of people who have high self-esteem and a strong self-image. They are ambitious. People with high self-esteem tend to be more ambitious in what they hope to experience in life emotionally, romantically, intellectually, creatively, and spiritually. They have a strong drive to express the self, reflecting the sense of richness within. They are goal-oriented. They seek the challenge and stimulation of worthwhile and demanding goals. Attaining such goals nurtures a good self-image. People with high self-esteem are more capable of having open, honest, and appropriate communications with others. They believe their thoughts have value. As a result, they welcome clarity and want to be understood. Let's look at the way we talk to others and how the images we present impact the results we get. Remember, we move toward the image that is most dominant in our mind. In this story, a mother walks into her teenage son's room and says, "Clean up this room, it's a pigsty. Your room is always a mess. You're the messiest kid in the world, and this room is a disaster. Now clean it up." She walks away feeling that she has provided her son the motivation he needs to mend his ways. But what images has she left in the mind of her son? Your room is a pigsty. Your room is always a mess. You are the messiest kid in the world. So the net result is that the teen looks around and thinks, this is like me. I'm the messiest kid in the world, and my room is always dirty. This is who I am. Now, it's easy to see how this mother failed to understand the impact of the images she left. While she was trying to make things better, her approach resulted in just the opposite. Hopefully you are seeing the connection here. If the images you leave when you talk to others can elevate or lower their self-image, then you must realize the power you have to do the same to yourself based on your own self-talk. There's a key phrase that all great coaches know. They use it because they know that high performers must have a strong self-image, but they still need to correct defects in the player's performance. A famous high school coach tells a story about a kid on his team a number of years ago that was a terrific punter. At a crucial point in a big game, he shanked a punt off the side of his foot and it traveled about 20 yards. The coach grabbed the kid on the sidelines and said, "What's wrong with you? You shanked that punt like a little girl. I want you to sit on the bench and think about what you did wrong." Sure enough, the next time the punter was in the game, he shanked the next punt. As the coach recounts the story, he told me, that poor kid didn't stand a chance. I told him to sit and think about what he did wrong. So the next time he entered the game, the dominant image he had fresh in his mind was the one I told him to keep there, the image of a shanked punt. The coach said to me, if I were coaching that kid today, what I'd do? I would walk up to him and say, "Stop that. You're better than that. You're the best punter I've ever coached." Now here comes that key phrase every great coach uses. The next time, I want you to drop that ball just like you do in practice, and I want you to kick it over the head of their return man. When you're tempted to berate or belittle yourself over something you did wrong or failed to do, start your self-talk with this phrase, "the next time," and then focus your mind on what you want to happen and exactly how you're going to make it happen. That phrase has also shown wonderful results in interactions with family members. Here's a little exercise I want you to do to explore ways to cut the negative self-talk cycle and replace it with positive next-time thinking. Look for a role model and learn from them. Make a list of your achievements. Make a list of what you like about yourself. Why do your friends like you? Make a list of the skills that you need to do what you want. You can never be overtrained or overskilled. Make a list of things you are grateful for. Reward yourself when you succeed, no matter how small the achievement. Find and read inspirational books. Watch inspirational videos and audios. Join and participate in a group or organization with a mission to serve. Of all the judgments we make in life, none are more important than the ones we make about ourselves. These self-evaluations directly affect the way we act and react, the values we choose, the goals we set, and how we meet the challenges that confront us. The key to meeting these basic challenges and feeling worthy of happiness is having high self-esteem. We have worked to understand the value and importance of improving your self-image, and we've done an exercise designed to focus on next-time thinking. Now it's time to look at ways to protect your self-image. If you were going to sell a piece of property, would you go to your best friend and ask him to tell you what it's worth? Would you go to your neighbor and ask them what it's worth? Would you go to somebody off the street and ask them what the property is worth? Or would you walk around your place of work and ask random people what your property is worth? The problem with this approach to getting an accurate estimation of the property's worth is that you have not asked a credible expert such as a professional property appraiser. What we do if we're not careful is we go around and ask people what they think of us. Or perhaps you ask them, "What do you think my chances of success in my career or job are? Give me an estimation of my work now and in the future." Whether we're asking about the value of a piece of property or of your prospects for success, asking unqualified people, no matter how close they are, how good a friend they are, is a bad idea. How many times do we ask other people to give us an estimation of our own worth? Once is too many times. We must stop doing this. Now the question is, am I qualified to estimate my own worth? When we're not sure of our own appraisal, we tend to ask others, even less qualified, to tell us if we're okay. The stronger your sense of self-worth, the less you feel the need to get approval from others. People with strong self-esteem are able to get and benefit from criticism, suggestions, and recommendations of others. They just are less vulnerable to the opinion of others. You must be most careful about those closest to you and those you respect the most, because you will tend to give more weight to their opinion of you. They can be the most damaging because you value what they think. The more we struggle and the more we go through tough times, often the more vulnerable we become. Your job is to build your own self-esteem through your own self-talk. You must become good at detecting those who feel the need to put negative weights on your attitudinal scale. The key behaviors of those with a healthy self-image are living consciously, self-acceptance, self-responsibility, self-assertiveness, living purposefully, and personal integrity. To live consciously is to be aware of what you are doing. You must seek to understand whatever has an impact on your interests, values, and goals. Be aware of both the world around you as well as the world within. To be self-accepting is to be respectful and compassionate toward yourself, even at those times when you do not admire or enjoy some of your feelings or decisions. It also means consciously refusing to reject yourself. Use of next time self-talk fosters self-acceptance. To be self-responsible is to recognize that you are the author of your own choices and actions. You are the source of your own fulfillment. To be self-assertive is to value your wants and needs and to look for ways to express them. You are willing to be who you are and allow others to see it. You stand up for your convictions, values, and feelings. To live purposefully is to take responsibility for identifying your goals. Perform the actions that will allow you to achieve them and keep yourself on track and moving toward their fulfillment. To live with integrity is to have principles of behavior to which you remain loyal in your actions. Keep your promises and honor your commitments.